Welcome to another lab session. In this lab session, we are going to look at creating an AWS storage file gateway for hybrid storage and data migration. So this is the architecture we are looking forward to achieve at the end of this lab. So we are going to configure a file gateway with an NFS file share and then attach it to a Linux instance, right? So this is a Linux instance. This instance is going to serve as, or is going to imitate our on-prem storage, right? And then we'll migrate a set of data from the Linux instance to an S3 bucket. Okay, so we'll also have an Amazon EC2 file gateway instance, which will now be the, let's say, the pipeline through which the file will be migrated from the on-prem to the S3 bucket. Now, this data is going to be replicated, right? So we'll create another bucket and then we'll have a cross-region replication between these two buckets, right? So once the file comes here, it's then replicated into the other bucket in another region. Okay, so that is basically about it. So quickly, let's go into the AWS management console and we'll begin. So in the console, we'll create two buckets, right? A primary bucket and a secondary bucket for the cross-region replication. So let's go to S3. As I always do, I'll open it in another tab. From the S3 console, I'll create a bucket. Okay. Now, the first bucket should be in the US East 2, right? That is Ohio. And the bucket's name. So the bucket name should be globally unique. So what I will do is I will do hybrid and I will use today's date. Okay. So today's date is 09/01/24. I am hoping that will work. I'll leave everything as it is and then I'll enable versioning. Okay. That's about it. And I'll create bucket. I'll create the secondary bucket, right? So I'll create another bucket. And this one will be in the US West 2, Oregon. Okay. The bucket name will be CRR hybrid 09/01/24. Right. Because it has to be unique, and enable versioning and create bucket. A conflicting conditional operation is currently in progress against this resource. Please try again. I don't know why, but let me try and then change the name. So I'll just do it CR hybrid. Okay. All right. So I've changed the name. Great. And then our bucket is created. All right. So I'll go to the primary bucket and then I'll go to management and I'll create a replication rule for the cross region replication. Okay. So here the replication name is CRR hybrid. Sorry, CRR full bucket. Okay, the status is enabled, the source bucket is this, and then I'm going to apply it to all objects in the bucket. And now the destination bucket is the CR hybrid in the US West 2. Okay, great. The IAM role I'm going to choose from an existing role, and I should have CRR role here. Great. Now that is done, so I'll click on save. Awesome. So we are prompted to replicate existing objects. Currently, we don't even have any object here. So no, do not replicate. So I'll submit that. So to test that our replication is working, let's go to buckets. Okay, and we'll upload a file, right, from the source bucket or the primary bucket. So first of all, let me create a simple file. Okay, so here, let me just create a text file. New, and then a text file. Where is it? So a text document. So CRR tests. Okay, it doesn't have, it's not that big. Okay, so I'll go to upload. I'll add files and I'll upload the test file. Okay, and I'll click on upload. So the file is uploaded and we should now see that it has been replicated into the second bucket in the US West region. All right, so we have to wait for some time. The replication, is kind of asynchronous, so it takes some time. So I'll refresh, 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 and then finally it's here. So there is a little bit of delay. Okay. All right. So we now have the file here. So now the replication is working. Now the next thing is to now configure the storage gateway. Okay. So I'll go to the storage gateway here. All right. So in the storage gateway, we'll create a gateway, and for gateway name, it's file gateway. Okay. And the time zone, we are to choose this, and it's an Amazon S3 file gateway. Okay. And we are using an Amazon EC2. So the platform is Amazon EC2. Customize settings, and I'll click on the launch instance to open the EC2 instance creation console. The name is File Gateway Appliance. All right. And the AMI will accept the default AMI, AWS Storage Gateway, AMI. For the instance type, for here, we are to choose T2X large. All right, that is the only instance that we can choose. So T2X large, all right, this, awesome. And for the key pair, we'll choose the default key pair, the VO key. Network settings, we'll edit the network settings, and we'll choose the on-prem VPC. For subnet is the on-prem subnet. Auto assign IP is enabled. We'll select existing security group, and there are two security groups that we need to select. All right, so then the first one is file, the one that has file gateway access, and the next one has on-prem SSH in it. Okay, so this one, on-prem SSH access. Awesome. So these are the two security groups that we will add to our EC2 instance. Okay, and we'll configure the volume. All right. Now for volume, we already have this that has 80 GIB. We'll leave that, and then we'll add a new volume. This one will be 150. Okay, 150 GIB, and we'll leave it as it is. Awesome. So let's review. We have one instance. The software AMI is this one. All right, thing installer. The virtual server is T2X large security group, and then two volumes attached. Awesome. All right, so we can launch our instance. All right, so let's view all instances. So already there is an on-prem. So I had one here that I've deleted, I've terminated. Okay, so our concentration is on this one. And this is the on-prem Linux instance that I said, the one that will emulate the on-prem server. Okay, so currently the instance is running, but we'll wait for a while for it to have 2 out of 2 checks, right, status checks, before we continue. Okay, so our instance now has 2 out of 2 checks. So let's go back to our storage gateway. I'll click on completed all steps above. We'll need the public IPv4 address. So I'll select the instance, and then I'll copy the public IPv4 address. I'll paste the IP address here. Right, and it should be publicly accessible. Click on next. Okay, so let's review what we have here. Yes, we are okay with it. All right, and then I'll activate the gateway. Great, so we have successfully activated the file gateway, but we have to wait for the cache storage to configure. So it's loading, it's preparing the local disks. So let's wait. But while it is doing that, we can also deactivate these, so we are not activating login, and then we don't want any alarm, right? So let's wait for the disks to finish loading, and then we'll just go ahead and click on configure. Okay, great. So the storage has finally been prepared. So yes, our cache storage is the 150 GIB volume that we added to the EC2 instance, right? So we can go ahead and then click on configure. So it said to configure cache storage and start using your gateway, you must add local disk to your gateway. After you add a local disk, choose refresh. No, but the local disk has been created. Okay, so let's wait. Okay, this was found. Let's do it again and see. Configure. Okay, so now we have successfully configured the volume. I don't know why the error came, but finally we have successfully done that. Okay, so now our file gateway status is running. So the next thing, we have to create a file share. So let's go to file shares and we'll create a file share. So we'll choose a gateway and then we'll choose the file gateway that we just created. It is an NFS file share, and the S3 bucket is the primary buckets that we created. We'll scroll down and then we'll click on customize configuration. All right, so here the file share settings configuration, the gateway is this, the S3 is that, and the file share name will share. All right, we'll leave everything as it is here. I'll go to next. Storage class, we are using standard, guess MME type, gateway files accessible to S3 bucket owner, correct. And then we'll use an existing role, right? And then the role, we can find it in the canvas. I'll go to details, show, and we should see this, right? So FGW role, file gateway role, ARN. I'll copy this, come here and then paste it in here. Great. And I'll go to next. So here we'll accept the default settings. So we are not going to change anything here. Just click on next. And this is the review. So then I'll create. Nice. So this is the file share that we created. Let me click on it. Now, if we should scroll down, we have the command to mount this on a Linux environment, right? So I'll copy this. And now we are going to mount the file share on the Linux instance, right? And then we'll migrate the data, all right? Okay, so let me go to instances and I'm connecting to this, right? The on-prem Linux instance. Let me use instance connect and see if I'll be able to connect to it, all right? Then we'll just go ahead with that. Okay, so we have been able to connect via instance connect. So we connected to the on-prem, right? This instance, the on-prem EC2 instance. So let's check the IP addresses so that we'll confirm that that is also 209.134. All right, so that is it. Okay, so we'll do ls media and data. So these are the files that we are going to migrate, right? But first we have to mount the NFS file also on this instance. Okay, so first let's create a mount directory. So I'll do sudo and then make directory and then mnt nfs s3. Okay, so yeah, so now we have created a mount directory. So all we need to do is to now mount the file share. All right, so I'll paste the command that I copied. Great. So mount of type nfs, the option is to use no log hard, and then the file gateway path, and then the mount path that we just created. So the mount path is mnt nfs, right? So the mount path is / mnt nfs s3. Okay, so mount. All right, so I think I'll have to add sudo. Correct. So now we have mounted the file, and the next thing, we can now check the storage on this on this instance, and you can see the storage is here. All right, so now we have mounted this file share or the NFS file share storage also on the on-prem Linux instance, right? So the next thing that we are going to do is to now copy these files, right? These files in the data media file, right? The data, sorry, we are copying the files in the media data directory from PNG1 to, I think there are 20 files, right? Up to PNG 20. Okay. So this is the command that we will enter. So we'll do a CP and then we'll use a verbose and now media data. Okay. And slash anything that ends with .png. And where are we copying it? We are copying it to the MNT, the NFS S3 directory. I'll press enter. So you can see the files has been copied. Now, how do we verify that the files have been copied? We'll go to our buckets, okay, and I'll open the hybrid, the primary bucket, and you can see all these files are here. Now let's see if the files has also been replicated into this bucket. All right, so look at the bucket in the second region, and this one will take some time. So I'll refresh, and then bam, this is what we have, right? Awesome. Great. So this is how you create a hybrid storage and also migrate data using AWS Storage File Gateway. I hope this lab session was helpful and I hope you liked it. I'll see you in another video for another hands-on. Thank you for watching.